For 100 agonizing years, a single man held back the darkness, suppressing the demon realm to protect the empire. Yet, the glory went to everyone but him. Cast aside in the slums like a stray dog, he was shunned, labeled a cursed dark mage by the very people he saved. But the world remains ignorant of the truth. The peace they enjoy wasn't won by that shining hero on the pedestal, it was bought by me, the despised outcast. The only reason I'm treated like a pariah is because Saint Elena, that symbol of purity, is actually a demon in disguise who thrives on framing the innocent. But today, the game changes. I march into her throne room and toss the demon lord's severed head at her feet. I upheld my end of the bargain. I demand, send me back to my world. Saint Elena flashes a plastic smile, trying to sweet-talk me into staying. But there is nothing in this wretched dimension for me. Cut the empty promises, I snap. Unless you can conjure up roasted pig trotters, fried chicken, and the latest anime, I'm leaving. Faced with my shameless otaku demands, Saint Elena is left speechless. Realizing she can't manipulate me, she reluctantly agrees. However, there's a catch. To return, I must first let her remove the saint's protection. This so-called protection is nothing but a magical shackle she used to control me. As I reach toward the seal on her chest, a blinding light erupts, slowly dissolving the mark. While the magic swirls around us, I lean in with a taunt. Aren't you scared I'll snap your neck the second this seal breaks? But Elena remains arrogant. She believes she's about to strip me of my powers, and she thinks I need her to open the dimensional gate. She has no idea. My dark magic hasn't just grown, it has reached the absolute apex. The instant the seal lifts, my magic lashes out, wrapping around her throat and hurling her across the room. She lands, annoyed but still wearing that smug look of someone holding all the cards. That expression shatters a second later. Her eyes go wide with disbelief as I tear open the dimensional portal with my own two hands. Finally, the mask slips, and panic sets in. Before I step through, I flip her a dismissive gesture. Stay out of my way, or I'll beat you senseless every time our paths cross. I leave Elena raging silently in her palace and vanish into the void. The next second, I'm hurtling toward Earth, though the teleportation is nearly lethal. It is a terrifying, bone-shaking ride through space-time that I never want to experience again. When I finally stop spinning and shakily get to my feet, I realize I'm standing in my old room. My eyes instantly lock onto the smartphone sitting on the desk. A rush of pure, unfiltered nostalgia hits me. I can't help it. I burst into maniacal laughter. Ha 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 ha. I'm back. I'm finally back. I have escaped that hellhole. Trembling with anticipation, I boot up my favorite mobile game to reclaim my anime joy, only to see the dreaded message, network unavailable. Desperate, I dash out of the house and run into the streets, holding my phone up like a beacon, searching for a signal. I am so focused on the screen that I don't notice the military perimeter, or the wolf beast lunging at my throat. I feel a killing intent from behind. Instinctively, I try to cast a dark spell, only to realize with horror, my magic power is completely gone. With zero time to think, I grab the beast's head with my bare hand and slam it violently into the pavement. The impact is instant. The monster is out cold, leaving the nearby soldier stunned. He stares at me, mouth agape. Is this guy even human? He just one-shotted a monster that usually takes a full squad to suppress. I pause, sensing something is wrong. Why are there dungeon wolves on Earth? The soldier, seeing me stand up, grips his weapon, his nerves fried. Moments later, I'm escorted to a safe zone, though frankly, I'm the safest thing here. Seeing my confusion, a soldier decides to fill me in. Over a decade ago, dungeons opened up, spewing monsters into our world. At the same time, some humans awakened to extraordinary abilities. These awakened fighters are known as hunters, and the military formed special units to manage the crisis. The soldier is pouring his heart out, explaining the tragic history of the last 10 years, but I am not listening to a word of it. My mind is racing with one crucial question. The monster invasion didn't shut down the game servers, did it? I didn't survive 100 years of war to lose my login streak. I spin around, gripping the soldier's shoulders. Listen to me. Are the game developers still working? Are the servers intact? The soldier looks at me like I've lost my mind. He stammers that he doesn't know, he's just sharing the tactical situation. He continues, 2 years ago, the dungeons became unstable. The monsters are getting bigger, stronger, and more aggressive. We're holding the line for now, but the military is stretched thin. Entire residential districts have already fallen. I stare at him blankly. Dude, I didn't ask for a war report. I just need to know if the game company is operational. Then, he asks for my age. When I tell him I'm nearly 21, he lets out a heavy sigh. 21? That's barely the cutoff. It's almost time for your service. The realization hits me like a truck. I just got back. I just wanted to binge play the games I missed. And now I have to enlist for 5 years? As if on cue, my phone chimes with a notification. Damn it, it is an actual draft notice ordering me to report for duty tomorrow. I try to deny reality, thinking it's spam, but the soldier peeks at the screen and reads the address. That looks legitimate, he says. I freeze. What about the medical exam? Don't they check if I'm fit to serve? And 1 day's notice? Is that even legal? The soldier looks away awkwardly. Like I said, we have a massive personnel shortage. Most medical exams happen at the base now. If you don't believe me, you can check the government site at the internet cafe near the shelter. In a split second, my mind goes blank, leaving room for only one thought. Internet cafe. I hit the shelter and make a beeline for the computers. A few hours of heavy gaming later, and I feel like a new man. I might have been away for decades, but the rush of gaming is exactly how I remember it. Belly full, thirst quenched. I finally decide to check the news. And yeah. Turns out that soldier wasn't lying. Dungeon outbreaks are escalating, and my draft notice is set for tomorrow. But with a body forged in hellish combat, basic training should be a walk in the park. I squeeze in one last happy session at the cafe, then head straight to the base to report for duty. The place is packed with recruits, most looking like they're marching to their own funerals. Then, the speakers crackle, ordering us to gather in the main hall. We pile inside, standing at attention while the instructor barks out the standard orientation speech. Honestly, these drill sergeants are teddy bears compared to the monsters I dealt with in the other world. I almost feel bad for not settling the score with my old master before I came back. Suddenly, the chief instructor drops the big question. Who wants to join the hunters? Everyone knows, the gap between a grunt and a hunter is massive. Even a low-tier hunter starts at a base salary of 3 million won. But the room remains dead silent. You have to be alive to spend the cash, after all. The chief instructor scans the crowd, disappointed but not surprised by the cowardice. Then his aide nudges him. Captain, we've got a hand up over there. The chief locks eyes with me in the crowd and immediately waves me up to the stage. I channel power into my legs and launch myself like a cannonball. Jaws drop as I soar over their heads, sticking a perfect superhero landing right on the platform. Sir, trainee Marcus Jin reporting. I'm here to join the hunters. The chief's eyes light up. The skepticism vanishes, replaced by respect, and he immediately escorts me to his office for a private chat. He cuts right to the chase. He's dying to know why I'm volunteering for the Suicide Squad. Sure, the perks are insane, but the hunter unit is a meritocracy of pure violence. Seniority means nothing. You can skyrocket through the ranks overnight, assuming a monster doesn't rip your head off first. That's why even the elite recruits usually play it safe in the regular army. But I've got a hidden agenda. As a dark mage, I can't just meditate to recover mana like the others. I need blood. I only regain power by slaughtering monsters. The Hunter Corps is the perfect hunting ground. I can recharge my magic, climb the ranks, and get rich. Just thinking about it gets my blood pumping. My examiner walks in a moment later. He takes one look at my scruffy appearance and frowns, clearly wondering if they scraped the bottom of the barrel. If he'd seen my 10-meter vertical leap earlier, he'd be singing a different tune. But rules are rules. To get the badge, I have to jump through their hoops. The examiner explains that every awakened has a status window displaying their stats. I pull mine up. And what the hell? The guy taps his foot, impatiently demanding I read out my numbers. I want to crawl into a hole and die. Instead of stats, the screen just flashes system error. The examiner turns red, convinced I'm taking the piss. But pissed off or not, he has to finish the evaluation. He grabs me and drags me off to the testing facility. The tech here is impressive, but this guy has had it out for me since I walked in. He decides to run the test personally, sneering that if I fail, he's throwing me in the brig for wasting his time. He points a thumb at a massive red crystal looming behind him. Move that rock even an inch, he says, and you pass. It's a special dungeon mineral. It's not just big, it's hyperdense. Moving it is supposed to be physically impossible for a normal human. Joke's on him. In the other world, these things were essentially roadside pebbles. Moving a chunk this size is child's play. Then, a thought strikes me. If this rock is from a dungeon, is it packed with dark energy? Oh, this is going to be good. The instructor watches, confused by the sudden grin on my face. I wind up and slam my fist into the mineral. A spiderweb of cracks instantly shoots across the surface. Asterisk, boom, asterisk. The indestructible crystal explodes into dust. The room goes silent. The examiner stares at the empty pedestal, muttering that I'm an absolute lunatic. But the verdict is clear. The military just acquired a literal monster. Cut to training. As the strongest dark mage returning from a hell dimension, Running 6,000 stairs a day is barely a warm-up. While I'm breezing through, the other recruits are dropping like flies, tortured by a demon instructor who treats the stopwatch like a weapon. They're gasping for air, lungs burning. But for me, this place is paradise. Compared to the other world, the training is a joke. Plus, we get 3 square meals a day. All you can eat? Sign me up. But the real kicker? Once training wraps up, we actually get downtime. That means I can blissfully grind video games before hitting the sack. My original plan was to just recharge my dark energy and bail, fast. But now, this place is looking like paradise. Ignoring the jaw-dropping stares of everyone around me, I sprint straight to the peak. The demon instructor looks like he's seen a ghost. He has never witnessed a recruit summit this fast while hauling full gear. In his eyes, I have officially crossed the line from soldier to absolute monster. A trek that breaks normal men in an hour took me exactly 21 minutes. True to his word, the instructor coughs up the prize we negotiated. Crush the course in under 30 minutes, get a pass to go off base. Joining the hunter squad was the best decision of my life. Meanwhile, my squad mates are wrecked, collapsing on the ground like wet noodles. All that suffering, and they only scraped up a single stamina point. Yet, they are celebrating like they just won the $5 million lottery. It's cute. Back in the other world, I could snap my fingers and farm 10 ability points without breaking a sweat. But as the days bleed into weeks, I start feeling something I never had back there. True camaraderie. In that other life, I spent 100 years protecting people from the shadows, yet not a single soul looked at me with anything but terror. Just then, a voice cuts through the air. Hey, the internet cafe is open. Wait, why are you leading with that now? In a heartbeat, I teleport to the cafe, fingers flying across the keyboard. I am reclaiming my lost youth, one round at a time. We are gaming until 2 hours before reveal. Honestly, back in the hellscape I came from, getting even 1 hour of sleep was a luxury I couldn't afford. After 2.5 months of this brutal grind, most of the squad still isn't hitting the mark. So, the brass decides to throw us into the deep end with a surprise combat test. It's sudden, it's unfair, and nobody is ready. Which is exactly how the instructors like it. Feeding off the panic in the air, the instructor grins, satisfied with our terror. Then, he drops the bait. The reward this time is massive. The soldier who takes first place earns a glorious 3-day, 2-night vacation. He pauses, expecting a roar of applause. Instead, silence. I'm the only one cheering, while everyone else looks at him like he's lost his mind, leaving the poor guy standing there in awkward silence. The stage for this little game isn't your average training ground. It is a decommissioned city zone, stripped of civilians and converted into a hyper-realistic combat simulation facility. Moments later, the hunter squad stands before the teleportation gate. Staring into the abyss of that dungeon, the recruits are shaking in their boots, while they huddle in small groups, whispering about the horrors waiting inside. A military transport truck roars up from the rear, breaking the tension. But when the tarp comes off, the panic spikes. The cages are packed with giant wolves, massive beasts, that send the recruits nearly fainting from shock. I honestly don't get the fear. Look at them. Aren't they just a bunch of adorable, fluffy puppies? The instructor barks out the rules. We are releasing these beasts into the dungeon. 4-man teams. Each squad must terminate one target within the time limit. To keep us from actually dying, we are all issued special reinforced armor. At the signal, the cages clank open. The hunt wolves explode out of the truck, charging straight into the dark portal. No time to hesitate, the instructor herds us toward the gate like cattle. My 4-man cell steps into the gloom. Even with the armor, the 3 rookies are trembling so hard I can hear their teeth chattering. Those wolves are already in position, watching us from the shadows with hungry, glowing eyes. We spin around, sensing movement. They are desperate to stalk us, but I clocked their presence the second we walked in. Watching the beasts coil their muscles to pounce, I casually toss a warning to my team. Heads up, puppies incoming. Before the words settle, the wolves lunge, jaws dripping with saliva. Seeing the recruits freeze up, I realize I need to show them how it's done. The pack splits up, and one blind idiot decides I look like an easy meal. Big mistake. I decide to make an example of him. With a sickening crunch, I bury my fist into the wolf's skull, while the rest of the pack swarms my teammates. I move to assist, but the wolves glare at me with pure venom. Oh, you want to dance? You are asking for a beatdown. With me calling the shots, the squad snaps out of it. Fear turns to focus, and they finally start fighting as a unit. Their improvement is terrifyingly fast, so fast that even the instructor watching from the shadows nods in approval. And just like that, we ace the test. The instructor steps out of the gloom, announcing the exercise is over. We are free to go. He leads us toward the exit point, relief washing over the squad. But suddenly, the entire dungeon lurches violently. We watch in horror as the exit portal flickers, shrinks, and vanishes into thin air. The instructor frantically grabs his radio, but all he gets is static. We are completely cut off. Trying to keep a lid on the panic, he puts on a brave face. Don't worry, the gate resets in 1 hour. We just have to sit tight. It just doesn't add up. Rookie training dungeons are supposed to be absolute milk, runs safe, predictable, boring. So when the exit suddenly seals itself shut, you know something is wrong. One look at the instructors' faces tells the real story. They're trying to fake composure, but I see right through it. If my gut is right, this place has mutated into a closed dungeon. A hassle, sure, but hardly a catastrophe for me. While I analyze the threat, the instructors are frantically whispering, trying to come up with a contingency plan. They know the score. An external invasion has corrupted this space, twisting it into a special, closed dungeon variant. The escape condition is brutal. Total extermination. Every single monster must die. We are completely on our own, with zero chance of outside backup. Panic starts to ripple through the recruits who understand the stakes, and even the instructor is visibly shaking. In this condition, he can't even promise we'd survive a low-level goblin ambush, let alone whatever nightmare is actually lurking in here. But sitting around is a death sentence. We have to move. The instructor runs the calculations for the grim math of survival. The strategy? Send the tanks to the front. Use the armored recruits as meat shields to draw aggro while the rest pick off the targets. But can he actually bring himself to give that order? He's bled and sweat alongside these kids day and night. His pride won't let him sacrifice them. He knows he couldn't live with the guilt. The Hunter Corps creed is absolute. Never betray your own. Suddenly, Marcus Jin freezes. Up ahead, the lead instructor screams, foaming at the mouth as he hits the floor. The rear instructor sprints forward to help before Marcus can shout a warning. Big mistake. He crashes down next to his partner, both of them clawing at their throats in agony before blacking out cold. Marcus Jin steps out from the shadows, his voice cutting through the panic. Back off. Take one more step, and you end up just like them. He crouches by the bodies. Pulse is there. They just fainted. Not fatal, thankfully. He effortlessly tosses the unconscious instructors toward the group. Don't follow me. Wait by the exit. And with that, he dashes straight into the darkness. The squad is terrified for him, but they have no idea that Marcus is grinning ear to ear right now. The force that dropped the instructors? Pure dark energy. To think he'd stumble upon this sweet nectar back on Earth. Back in the other world, you needed a high-level priestly blessing just to survive this miasma. For a normal human, it's instant death. But for a dark energy cultivator like Marcus Jin, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, like plugging a dying phone into a supercharger. He closes in on the source, the silence in the cavern growing heavy and unnatural. But a veteran hunter doesn't fall for cheap tricks. Marcus glances up, clinging to the ceiling, leaking thick black fog, is a dark hound. Don't let the name fool you. This is nothing like the common dungeon hounds rookies fight. We are talking about entirely different species regarding power levels. Marcus remembers his first week in the other world. He mistook one for a regular mutt and nearly paid for that mistake with his life. Seeing it now just brings back fond nostalgia. The beast shrieks, claws extending, and dives straight for his throat. Marcus doesn't flinch. He winds up and delivers a single, devastating haymaker. The monster crumples instantly. Now, it's feeding time. It's a good thing he took point. The radiation alone coming off this carcass would keep any other hunter at bay. And then there's the blood, highly toxic. One drop on human skin causes fatal necrosis. But for a dark mage, it's barely a spice. Still, it begs the question, how did an otherworld predator end up in an Earth dungeon? The instructors were clueless, and the Academy textbooks never mentioned dark energy. This is a massive anomaly. Did it hitch a ride during my dimensional jump? Or is this the work of that old hag, Saint Elena? Whatever. Questions for later. Right now, he needs to reassure the squad. He grabs the carcass. Without physical proof, explaining this mess to the brass would be a nightmare. Back at the entrance, the instructors groggily come to. They panic, checking for casualties, but Danny cuts in with grim news. Marcus went in alone. Just as the instructor starts spiraling into self-loathing for failing his student, Marcus strolls out of the shadows, dragging the massive beast behind him. The instructor's jaws hit the floor. What is that thing? That's no ordinary hound. Marcus thuds the corpse onto the concrete. Take a closer look. The instructor inspects it and turns pale. It's the source of the knockout gas. The squad erupts into whispers. Marcus took down that behemoth solo? The guy's a legend. Look at the size of it. That's gotta be a heavyweight class. But amidst the praise, Marcus spots something else. The heavy dungeon gates grind open, The instructor grips Marcus Jin's shoulder, eyes wide with disbelief. You took down that hellhound solo? Truly? Marcus Jin gives a silent nod. Ordering the rest of the squad to clear out, the instructor holds him back for a private word. Once the room clears, the instructor drops his voice. He demands the unvarnished truth in the official report, even the part where the leadership failed their duty. Then, he offers something rare. Genuine gratitude. For Marcus Jin, hearing a thank you is uncharted territory. He feels a flush of embarrassment. But the moment the instructor steps out, Marcus Jin's vision glitches, his system window flares to life. Error corrected. He stares at the status bar, realizing the truth. This character, it is the very founder of the sect he built back in the game. Memories flood back. This isn't just a random body, it is the avatar he played to perfection. The Dark Mage, who established a legendary sect just to escape his own fanatic followers in the other world. But reality hits hard. His god-tier stats have tanked. That infinite skill bar, gone. Replaced by a single, pathetic, corrosion spell that looks like it could barely give someone an upset stomach. Marcus Jin clenches his fist. This power level is a joke compared to his glory days. But remember, he survived the hellscape of the other world to stand at the absolute pinnacle of dark magic. Plus, Earth has something worth fighting for the game developers. He needs them alive and working so he can keep gaming. He needs his power back. He needs dominance. And this time, the training won't be aimless wandering. Over the next few days, the training camp is buzzing. The sudden dungeon closure, the squad leader's incompetence, the instructor's paralysis, it is all anyone can talk about. But the headline? A rookie trainee took down the boss monster single-handedly. For this legendary feat, Marcus Jin skips the line and gets a direct promotion to private second class. While the barracks gossip about his skills, Marcus is summoned straight to the top the battalion commander's office. The commander spots him and immediately waves away the disgraced squad leader he was just chewing out. He locks eyes with Marcus. I have a proposition. I want you in the Iron Core Hunter unit. We need frontline dungeon clearers. It is brutal out there. Freezing temperatures, heavy snow, and a relentless stream of monsters pouring from the rifts. It is the bleeding edge of the war, but the promotions come fast. Marcus Jin's mind races. Isn't that the golden ticket? Rapid rank climbing plus endless monster waves to farm for magic power? It is perfect. Marcus doesn't hesitate. I'm in. Send me to Iron Core. The next day, the transport trucks clear out the recruits, leaving Marcus Jin standing solo in the dust. A low rumble shakes the ground. A heavy military Humvee screeches to a halt, and a mountain of a man steps out. Damn snow slowed us down. Private second class Marcus Jin? Sorry for the wait. Throw your gear in the back. We are moving out. As the engine roars, Marcus Jin feels a flicker of anxiety about the military grind ahead. It is not the blood or the beasts he fears. It is the rigid, soul-crushing hierarchy of unit life. If anyone tries to haze him, he knows he won't just take it. He will snap. Whatever. Bring it on. Soon enough, the vehicle rolls into the Hunter main base. The commander wasn't lying. Snow is already falling. Guided by the officer, Marcus navigates the complex and lands at the barracks. Word travels fast. The squad knows the super rookie is here. They swarm him, peppering him with the same question. Why the hell would you come to this frozen wasteland? Marcus shrugs. Honestly, I heard the promotions are fast. I'm chasing rank. The room goes silent. They look at him like he is insane. Who trades a cushy life for this frozen hell just for stripes? To break the awkward tension, they decide to haze him with the classic new guy talent show. Marcus holds up a single digit, one-finger push-ups. The crowd groans. That is it? My grandma can do that. We do those for warm-ups. But then Marcus inverts his body, balancing his entire weight on that single index finger, a full handstand push-up. Jaws drop. That kind of raw strength? Only Sergeant Victor can pull that off. And speaking of the devil, Sergeant Victor looms over Marcus. The voice rings a bell. Marcus pivots to face him. It is him, Sergeant Victor Lee. The sergeant barks at the gawkers to scatter and summons Private First Class Danny Lee to handle the new recruit. Orders received. Danny Lee grabs Marcus to give him the tour, starting with the most important stop, the PX commissary. Loaded up with junk food, Danny lays down the law. Rule 1. Privates first class, we only get PX privileges on weekends. During the week, you are stuck with the gym. That is your only entertainment. Rule 2. The cyber cafe is off limits. Corporals and up only. Marcus freezes. No internet? That is absolute insanity. Danny shrugs. It is the rank, man. Suck it up, keep your head down, and time will pass. Marcus can't believe his ears. Nobody fights this system? Danny lowers his voice to a whisper. Maybe. When we get our stripes. Maybe. Marcus Jin's expression darkens. A world where he can't access the internet? Now he is pissed. Since brute force won't overturn these absurd policies, climbing the ranks fast is the only play left. Danny Lee hangs his head, voice thick with shame. 3 years running, I've missed the promotion. Am I just useless? Seeing his spirit broken, Marcus Jin steps in. You've got this next time, trust me. But the moment is ruined when a corporal struts over, snatches Danny's food, and starts stuffing his face without a word. Marcus clocks him instantly, serial bully. This guy clearly treats Danny like his personal punching bag. Corporal Kevin Kim chews loudly, eyes locking onto Marcus. You waste my time on the range tomorrow, rookie, and you're dead meat. Danny scrambles to intervene. I was just about to brief him on the shooting protocols, sir. Shut it, Kevin snaps. Meddle again and see what happens. Seeing the guy push his luck, Marcus decides it's time for a little lesson, and silently triggers his corrosion skill. Kevin freezes. A violent tremor hits his body. He frantically grabs a snack wrapper, checking the expiration date with panic rising in his eyes. Cold sweat pours down his face. The bully turns pale and sprints for the bathroom like his life depends on it. Marcus hides a smirk. Looks like level 1 corrosion is finally good for something. Once the nuisance is gone, Danny sighs. Listen, tomorrow's training isn't standard issue. These modified rifles kick like mules compared to boot camp gear. It's like trading a pony for a wild stallion. The recoil sounds like a cannon blast. But with monsters constantly breaching the perimeter, we need that kind of stopping power. It's jarring at first. Just take it slow, breathe, and don't let the pressure get to you. Marcus nods, thinking back to his past life. He's handled weapons that hit with the force of a charging elephant. This should be interesting. He's actually looking forward to it. The next morning at the range, Marcus unloads a barrage of lead downrange. The commander's jaw drops. This rookie just landed 19 shots with only a single miss. The entire squad is stunned into silence. The unit's all-time record was only 14 hits, and Marcus just shattered it. Before the smoke clears, an instructor approaches. Marcus is being fast-tracked to the Special Ops simulation this afternoon. The drill involves 2-man teams breaching a simulation tunnel. Objective: neutralize monsters on the move and race to the extract point. The monsters aren't high-level threats, but they are very real, and they will fight back. But there's a catch. Humanoid targets representing civilians are scattered throughout the course. Tag a civilian, and you fail instantly, no matter how many beasts you slay. Officers are on standby to jump in if things get messy, so safety isn't the issue. Hearing he gets to hunt live targets, Marcus feels a spark of excitement. Arriving at the facility, Marcus runs straight into his favorite headache, Corporal Kevin Kim. Kevin crosses his arms, sneering. Average clear time is 3 minutes. Don't embarrass the unit, trash. When Marcus doesn't flinch, Kevin scoffs. That 19-hit score? Pure luck. If you clock in slower than me, private second class, I'm going to make your life a living hell. Got it? He gestures to the team gearing up behind them. Watch and learn. Try not to wet your pants. On the officer's mark, both men are teleported into the underground tunnels. It's a claustrophobic kill box. Protect the civilians, slaughter the monsters. First one to the end zone and hits the buzzer wins. The timer starts now. Maybe it's arrogance, but Kevin actually starts lecturing Marcus. See the markers? The size indicates the threat level. Bigger marker means nastier beast. 2 monsters per tunnel. Randomized danger levels. You're going in blind. Cut to another lane. Soldier Alex steps in and is immediately jumped by a massive toad monster. A sticky tongue lashes out like a whip. Alex barely rolls out of the way. This isn't a training dummy. It's a predator. In the next lane, Tank squares off against a mutant rat, putting it down with brutal efficiency. He's grinning, thinking he's got this in the bag. When the second gate grinds open, a desert worm, the worst possible draw, bursts from the ground. Back to Alex. He's dealing with a second giant toad. He thinks he's lagging, but looking at the scoreboard, nobody has cleared yet. Alex sprints past the carcass and slams the finish button. First place. A moment later, Tank's door slides open. He looks battered. That worm put up a hell of a fight. Garbage luck-based game. Tank spits. The scoreboard flashes. He tagged a civilian target. Disqualified. Kevin watches them emerge. Looks like those two had a wager on who'd clear first. At the mention of a bet, Marcus steps into Kevin's personal space. Let's make it interesting then. You and me. Fastest clear takes it. Kevin blinks, stunned. You actually have the stones to bet against me? Marcus stares him down. You heard me. Loser grants the winner one wish. Unless you're scared you're not as special as you think, you're on. You want to play the hero? I'll indulge you. When you lose, I'm taking 3 months of your salary. How does that sound? Marcus Jin agrees without hesitation. Moments later, it is their squad's turn to shine. At the officer's command, both men are warped down instantly. But Marcus Jin is in a foul mood right now. He does not take kindly to being blown off by Private First Class Kevin Kim. As the spectators watch, the training simulation officially kicks off. Honestly, nobody expects much from Private Marcus Jin. The rank gap is just too massive to ignore. Suddenly, Danny Lee picks up on a disturbance. There are heavy vibrations shaking the training grounds. The beast in Marcus Jin's lane is not staying put. It is hunting down another target. Marcus breaches the first door and walks straight into a nightmare scenario. The monster meant for Corridor 2 has crossed over and just finished gorging itself on a mutant rat. Watching the feed, the officer starts sweating bullets for Marcus Jin's safety. Spotting fresh meat, the one-eyed demon hurls the rat carcass straight at him. Fast on his feet, Marcus Jin dodges the projectile instantly. His mind races. I can't just spray and pray here. I have to avoid the hostage dummies. One stray bullet hits them, and this whole run is a wash. Strategy locked in, Marcus Jin channels his energy and throws a devastating haymaker, completely obliterating one of the one-eyed demon's arms. He winds up for a second strike, only to freeze. The severed limb is regenerating at a terrifying speed. The one-eyed demon stops playing games. It morphs its left hand into a jagged blade, unleashing a flurry of slashes at Marcus Jin. But Marcus Jin is too slick, weaving through the razor-sharp attacks with ease. Launching himself into the air, he racks the bolt and unloads a chaotic hail of bullets straight into the monster's eye. Landing gracefully, Marcus Jin moves to end the fight while the beast is blinded. But the one-eyed demon pulls a fast one, locking onto Marcus Jin's position without sight and launching a counterattack. With superhuman reflexes, Marcus Jin bends backward, letting the death blow whiz past. It hits him then. The military does not train with berserk monsters like this. There is only one explanation. It is reacting to the dark energy inside his body. Outside, the instructor senses the anomaly, grabs his gear, and dives into the arena. He is terrified for Marcus Jin's life. A one-eyed demon that has absorbed energy is way above a mere private's pay grade. But when he storms onto the scene, the instructor is floored. The one-eyed demon is already down for the count. Meanwhile, Private First Class Kevin Kim, still thinking about his bet with Marcus Jin, is sprinting toward the finish line. He clocks his time at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. He is already counting the rookie's 3 months of salary in his head. But, just as he fantasizes about the cash, he spots Marcus Jin already leaning against the finish button. Seeing Kevin Kim approach, Marcus Jin shoots him a look, flashes a mischievous grin, and slams the button. Kevin Kim is absolutely livid. Back in the lobby, the squad is hyping up the new recruit, Marcus Jin. Clearing that course in under 3 minutes is unheard of. Danny Lee rushes over to check Marcus Jin for injuries. I'm good, really, don't worry. When asked how he took down the one-eyed demon, Marcus Jin just smiles. I just used the method you taught me. Standing nearby, Kevin Kim is seething with rage. A soldier pipes up. Hey, didn't you guys have a bet? Since the rookie won, pay up. Kevin Kim smacks the guy upside the head. Null and void. You all saw the feed. The exam requires 2 kills. The rookie only fought 1. Totally unfair. If I only had 1 target, I would have smoked his time. He corners Danny Lee, demanding validation. Danny Lee hesitates, too scared to speak. Kevin Kim hisses. If you value your life, speak up. Marcus Jin is getting real tired of this guy. He was considering dropping the bet since he technically used his fists to win. But seeing Kevin Kim's bullying attitude, Marcus Jin decides the deal stands. Before it gets violent, Sergeant Victor Lee steps in. When a standard one-eyed demon mutates, its threat level spikes exponentially. That beast was harder than 10 of the monsters you faced. Kevin Kim still is not buying it. He thinks Victor Lee is just pulling rank. I was just messing with the junior, sir. Why so serious? Sergeant Victor Lee sneers. Still the same, I see. Hiding behind just joking when things don't go your way. But rank is a beautiful thing. Private First Class Kevin Kim, the loudmouth from before, instantly shuts up and acts obedient. A rare sight, though a vein is popping in his forehead. Sergeant Victor Lee turns to deliver a final warning. You have something to say? Kevin Kim's expression shifts instantly. He forces a smile. No, of course not. Sergeant Victor Lee sneers. That's right, loser. Marcus Jin, the strongest dark mage from another world. He has finally returned to Earth, only to discover a cruel twist of fate. All his accumulated dark energy has vanished without a trace. Now, stripped of his magic, he has only one weapon left, the physically transcendent body he forged in that other dimension to hunt beasts. Just as desperation begins to set in, he makes a game-changing discovery. The magical beasts inside the dungeons are literally teeming with dark energy. That settles it. He joins the Iron Guard Regiment, the front line where monsters swarm the thickest. It is the only way to harvest dark energy and secure access to high-level dungeon raids. But there is a catch. The only way forward is to climb the ranks. Then, reality hits hard. The military's automatic promotion system, it has been abolished. It does not matter if you save civilians or slay massive beasts. Your promotion now hangs entirely on the subjective judgment of your commander. Marcus Jin stands there, completely baffled. This place is far more complicated than he anticipated. Suddenly, alarms blare across the base. Warning. A massive swarm of medium bats has been detected directly above the oil depot. Orders scream through the comms. All soldiers, mobilize to the oil depot immediately. Set up protective shields. Marcus Jin's eyes light up. Asterisk. Isn't this perfect? Asterisk. Medium bats are pack hunters. Small, fast, and armed with fireballs. And they just had to show up at an oil depot. One stray spark, and the whole place goes up in a mushroom cloud. The veteran soldiers hesitate, terrified of triggering an explosion. But the new recruit, Marcus Jin, he walks right into the danger zone. He calmly announces he will draw the aggro. He tells them not to worry. His squad mates panic. He is going in barehanded, no weapons, no gear. They are terrified something will happen to him. They try to stop him, but they have no idea what is going through Marcus's mind. Asterisk. That is free. Experience points being delivered right to my doorstep. Asterisk. Asterisk. Passing this up would be a crime. Besides, if I solo this monster problem, wouldn't that guarantee a promotion? Asterisk. With a smirk, Marcus leaks just a tiny thread of dark energy. Instantly, the swarm of medium bats locks onto him like sharks smelling blood. Nearby, Sergeant Victor Lee is leading a transport team with defensive gear when he spots the insanity. Private Marcus Jin is fighting the monsters alone. Victor rushes over, screaming at Marcus to retreat and gear up. Asterisk. Leave the rest to me. Asterisk. Marcus glares internally. Asterisk. How can I let the prize within my grasp just fly away? Asterisk. He eyes the high-grade weapon in Victor's hands. Asterisk. That looks useful. Asterisk. He secretly casts his corrosion skill. Suddenly, Sergeant Victor Lee's stomach churns violently. A loud rumble echoes, and the pain doubles him over, clutching his gut. Marcus coolly steps in, grabs the weapon, and says, "Don't worry, I'll finish this quickly and be right back." With the weapon enhancement active, Marcus is ecstatic. He charges straight into the bat swarm. He is a blur of motion, swinging left and right. In seconds, the monsters he lured are completely obliterated. Suddenly, a straggler breaks formation high in the sky, aiming a fireball straight at the fuel tanks. Just as Victor orders his men to shoot, he sees Marcus defy gravity jumping into midair and cleaving the bat in two with a single strike. Moments later, the protective shield flickers to life, humming over piles of bat carcasses. Only now do the base officers arrive, looking confused. The radar missed the swarm. Where did they come from? There is a strong burning smell. Who did this? How many were eliminated? Victor Lee reports that 30% of the swarm has been eliminated. He seethes with annoyance at these officers. They are awakened, yet they are not combat types. They do not care about the soldiers' lives. This disgusting behavior from cowards who hide in safe rooms is revolting. Just as they start praising Victor's performance, promising to put in a good word with the battalion commander, Victor interrupts. "It wasn't me," the sergeant says. "This was the work of a new private, Marcus Jin." The admission successfully catches Victor Lee's attention. Later, he asks Marcus, "Is this your second enlistment? No? Then listen. If you face a situation like yesterday again, don't act recklessly. Do you understand? Even the best luck runs out. The Iron Guard regiment is unique. From the commander down to the grunts, none of us are awakened. Ironically, the non-combat personnel are the awakened ones. That is why the Iron Guard has such raw combat power. But replacing men like us is difficult. Not every awakened chooses to be here. So, we prepare, we plan, we do not make meaningless sacrifices. That said, you have something to look forward to this time. Today, the Monster Hunter unit with the most kills in the 104th Division is coming to visit our battalion. The entire command staff of the Iron Guard Regiment stands in formation, saluting the returning heroes with special honors reserved for Private Marcus Jin, the man who single-handedly neutralized the threat. Colonel James Lee steps forward with the briefing. "We've pinpointed the medium bat nest. The perimeter is secure, and we're just waiting on the threat level assessment. The moment we get confirmation, the intel goes straight to the regiment commander's desk. But the commander isn't satisfied. He demands answers about the radar failure." Captain Stephen Song breaks into a cold sweat. "Sir, the system stayed silent until the creatures breached the perimeter. Diagnostics rule out hardware failure. We're currently analyzing potential blind spots in the coverage." The commander cuts him off. "If the machines aren't broken, then we simply don't have enough eyes." Get 2 more radar arrays operational. Now. His gaze shifts to Marcus Jin. You showed guts out there, soldier. Your reaction time was impeccable. But don't get reckless with your own life. Next time, gear up before you charge in. Though, rumor has it you dropped 30 of those beasts solo. Marcus stands tall. Confirmed, sir. Thank you. If I hadn't moved when I did, the oil depot would have been nothing but a crater. Only then does the squad leader finally let out the breath he's been holding. The commander doesn't hesitate. He spot promotes Marcus to private first class right there on the tarmac and orders the battalion lead to grant him immediate leave 3 days, 2 nights. Marcus can barely contain his grin. A promotion times and times a vacation? Military life is starting to look up. The moment he steps off base, he makes a beeline for the nearest internet café. His plan? Grind video games for 72 hours straight. But a snippet of conversation on the street stops him dead in his tracks. I swear, I paid the owner to forage mushrooms near the upper cave entrance. Next thing I know, the military locks down the whole area, kicked me out and said the zone is off limits. It makes my blood boil. I paid good money. Why the sudden blockade? His buddy takes a slow sip of water. Listen, before the lockdown 2 days ago, Sean went up there. He said the mountain reeked of something awful. He came back and was out cold for days. Count your blessings, you didn't go inside, or you might have ended up the same way. Marcus steps into their space, eyes intense. Where is this mountain? Take me to it. I can handle whatever is up there. Intimidated but curious, the men agree to drive him to the trailhead. As the car fades into the distance, Marcus turns toward the peak. He can feel it instantly thick, heavy, dark energy pulsing from the earth. He climbs to the cave mouth and, sure enough, finds sentries posted at the entrance. Need to keep this quiet. He subtly casts corrosion, and a second later, the guards double over, clutching their guts as they scramble for the latrines. Path clear. Marcus slips into the gloom. No monsters on the radar, but the concentration of dark energy here is off the charts. Doesn't matter why it's here. He raises both hands and begins to inhale the power, draining the atmosphere dry. As his reserves fill, his corrosion skill evolves, sharpening into something deadlier. Then, a system notification flashes he's awakened a new ability, Shadow Walker. Marcus is ecstatic. Finally, a skill with some real utility. The Shadow Walker is a top-tier summon, a creature of pure darkness, perfect for stealth assassinations. Back in Asgard, this was his go-to weapon. The only catch? It burns through dark energy like a furnace. But he can't worry about fuel costs right now. He initiates the ritual, channeling the cave's energy until a pitch-black beast manifests from the void. Marcus stares at the creature hovering before him. It fits in the palm of his hand. He is completely speechless. This isn't right. It's supposed to be a towering behemoth. Did the dimensional travel shrink it? Or maybe his current energy levels just aren't high enough to support the full version? Then, it hits him. A miniature summon is even better. It can slip into shadows no one would suspect. He hasn't lost power. He's gained the ultimate spy. He drains the rest of the energy just as his leave expires. He never touched a keyboard, but the power upgrade was worth more than any high score. It solidifies his resolve. To fix the bigger problems, he needs authority. He needs to climb the military ladder fast. Back at the barracks, a squad mate drops a bomb. Marcus's name is already on the list for the upcoming promotion exams. The unit is in an uproar. Registration closed weeks ago, and Marcus hasn't even served a full year. It's unprecedented. How did he pull this off? Word gets out that the training camp battalion commander pulled strings. His logic? An exceptional soldier shouldn't be held back by red tape but pushed until they break. The rest of the squad is left with their jaws on the floor. In record time, he's already hit private first class. If he aces this and makes corporal, it's basically hacking the system. But the rumors say training starts at dawn, focusing on primary weapons. Marcus frowns, confused. In this army, aren't rifles the only primary weapon that matters? The very next day, the grind begins as the instructor lays out the roadmap for the promotion exam, a written portion and the real-deal practical combat. This gauntlet is split into 3 phases: primary weapon proficiency, ability assessment, and raw monster slaying capability. In plain English, it's a combat stress test. For Marcus Jin, once the most feared dark mage in existence, acing a brawl is child's play. And with the rumor of special rewards for a perfect score, now he's actually interested. Marcus Jin grins, already counting his loot. Phase 2 kicks off immediately with primary weapon training, which turns out to be good old-fashioned melee combat. Let's face it, trying to gun down a mana beast with a standard rifle is a death wish. You need cold steel up close to control the battlefield and actually survive the encounter. The curriculum focuses on military saber arts, but trainees are expected to blend in their own personal fighting style. The instructor steps up, executing a flawless routine of cuts and parries, demanding the recruits mirror his lethal precision. It's a disaster. Most of the recruits look like they're swinging wet noodles, but Marcus, every strike radiates pure, suffocating sword intent. The others try to copy him, but they lack the technique and the killer instinct to pull it off. The instructor can't take it anymore. He barks for a ceasefire, calling out their stiff, disjointed flailing. "Your movements are stiff. It's painful to watch." Private First Class, Marcus Jin. Front and center. Watch how a real soldier does it. All eyes lock onto Marcus. He looks bewildered. Why is he always the guinea pig? With a heavy sigh, he drags himself to the platform and unleashes his own brand of blade work, flowing like water and striking like lightning. Cold sweat breaks out on the onlookers' foreheads. Is that terrifying aura really coming from a fresh recruit? The moment he finishes, Marcus slumps to the ground, playing the part of the exhausted rookie. Suddenly, the instructor looms over him, digs into a pocket, and tosses him a high-grade ration bar before walking off. Wait, was that payment for the show? Training finally wraps up, and after a short breather, the big day arrives. The promotion exam is here. The PA system crackles to life. All personnel registered for the promotion exam report to the training grounds immediately. It's finally here. Marcus can barely contain his excitement. Goodbye, Private. Hello, Corporal. Passing means an instant jump to corporal rank, but the fail rate is astronomical. Very few survive this test. Most candidates here are hardened veterans of failure. But this year, there are two anomalies taking the test via special exception. Private First Class Marcus Jin from the 104th 2nd Battalion and Private Grace Park from the 4th. Both have less than a year of service under their belts. Marcus is stunned he's not the only prodigy in the ring. There's actually another freak of nature here besides me. The crowd buzzes with whispers. Are they monsters? Taking this exam as a rookie, and one's already a Private First Class? All eyes drill into the two outliers. Marcus and Grace lock eyes for a split second, an awkward tension hanging between them. The examiner cuts the chatter. Stage 1 consists of 3 tests: strength, agility, and stamina. The strength test sounds deceptively simple. Just push the instructor backward. You have 1 minute, 10 points for every meter gained, score below 40 points, and you pack your bags immediately. First up is a private, built like a tank. He heaves with everything he's got, turning redder than a baboon's backside. But the instructor stands like a statue. One casual shove later, the muscle head goes flying across the room. Panic sets in. If the tank couldn't move him, who can? It looks like the first test is going to be a massacre. The next few attempts go exactly as you'd expect, total failure. No one can budge the brick wall until Grace Park, the squad's celebrated beauty, steps up. With a delicate shove of her small hand, she easily sends him sliding back 5 meters. The crowd is stunned, though. Half the guys are just swooning, wondering if the instructor went soft on her because she's cute. Impressive. But now it's Marcus's turn. He does the math. If he clears 10 meters, that's bonus point territory. He focuses his mana, channeling a concealed energy blast right into his palms as he makes contact. Asterisk. Boom. Asterisk. The tremendous force launches the instructor backward like a rag doll. The instructor has to dig his heels in with everything he's got just to stop the slide. Silence falls. Both instructors stare at Marcus with intense, wide eyes. What kind of freakish power is that? Is he even human? Even Grace stands there with her mouth slightly open, unable to process what she just witnessed. After that spectacle, the rest of the candidates look like children. Everyone loses interest in the follow-up acts. The strength test wraps up with nearly half the field disqualified. The examiner wastes no time moving to the agility round. Soldiers erect a massive green net enclosure and wheel out a heavy machine gun. The candidates stare in horror. You have to be kidding me. You don't seriously expect us to outrun bullets, do you? The examiner's grin is pure, sadistic mischief. Relax. The rounds are modified rubber, but at 1,000 meters per second, getting tagged is going to feel like a sledgehammer to the ribs, so I suggest you move. Survive 60 seconds unscathed for a perfect score. Manage 30 without getting pummeled, and you pass. And a word of advice. At these velocities, your eyes are useless. If you wait to see the rubber, you're already hit. Watch the barrels. Read the subtle shifts in the machine's alignment. Prediction is your only survival tool here. Theory is one thing, reality is another. The first candidate steps into the kill box and is immediately battered into a pulp. It's no wonder the annual pass rate is abysmal. Though, compared to the monstrosities lurking in real dungeons, this is essentially child's play. While Marcus Jin analyzes the carnage, bodies continue to drop until Grace Park takes the stage. Finally, the atmosphere shifts. She flows like water, weaving through the hail of gunfire with impossible grace. effortlessly securing a perfect score. Yet, there is no celebration in her eyes. As she walks past Marcus Jin, she locks eyes with him, a silent, arrogant challenge. Honestly, it just pisses him off. She wants a pat on the back? Fine. It's time to show her the difference between talent and true mastery. Marcus Jin steps up. He doesn't dance, he simply tilts his head, letting the rounds buzz harmlessly past his ear. Then, the ultimate flex, he shoves his hands in his pockets. The bullets seem to bend around him, missing his shoulders by millimeters as if afraid to make contact. He strolls casually toward the turret, practically mocking the machine gun with a leisurely waltz. Not a single shot lands. Even the examiner loses his composure. He's not watching a student, he's staring at a monster. The clock ticks well past 60 seconds before the stunned examiner kills the power, breathlessly announcing Marcus Jin's perfect score. The silence is deafening. Every other candidate can feel it, the insurmountable dimensional gap standing between them and him. Next up, the stamina trial. The location is an actual dungeon, though the objective remains deceptively simple. A 40-minute suicide sprint. Reach the checkpoint and return within the time limit. Get your hand stamped by the examiner at the turnaround, then haul yourself back to the start line to pass. The catch? Nobody knows where the hell the checkpoint actually is. Under the cover of night, a figure slips into the restricted zone. Dark energy swirls from his fingertips as he whispers an archaic, incomprehensible chant. The shadows coalesce, responding to the call, until an eerie creature is birthed from the void. It was supposed to be a shadow walker, a towering assassin capable of decapitating enemies from within the veil. But ever since Marcus Jin returned from Asgard, his mana core has been running on fumes, drastically nerfing his summons. He realized the extent of the damage the moment he reawakened his summoning skills. There is only one fix: recharge his dark energy reserves. For now, he has to make do with this pint-sized version of the Shadow Walker. But this secret operation can only launch once the promotion exams are history. So, the moment the tests conclude and he returns to base, Marcus Jin initiates his plan. Playing the benevolent ace, he uses his perfect score as an excuse to treat the squad to fried chicken, while convincing team leader Victor Lee to raid the admin supply for beer. It's a calculated move. Dark mages are immune to intoxication. The mana burns away the alcohol the instant it enters their system. While his teammates drink themselves into a stupor, Marcus slips away to a secluded corner and summons the mini Shadow Walker. Now for the heavy lifting. After scanning the area for witnesses, he commands the tiny entity, stay invisible, tail the high-ranking officers at sea, and report any dark energy signatures immediately. He was once the apex predator of dark magic. If he can fully restore his reserves, there won't be a soul alive who can stand against him. He is lost in fantasies of godhood when the little shadow creature starts frantically waving its hand in his face. Right. The toll. Even summoned minions don't work for free. It demands a payment of dark energy for every command. Wincing, Marcus Jin conjures a precious sphere of dark energy and reluctantly hands it over. The creature snatches the bribe and bolts before Marcus can even finish his safety briefing. Gone in a blink. Watching that thing sprint off is nerve-wracking. If security spots it, the base goes into full lockdown. Suddenly, a voice cuts through the darkness behind him, freezing the blood in his veins. What exactly are you doing sneaking around out here? Damn it. Busted. He spins around to find team leader Victor Lee staring him down. Think fast. Marcus forces a smile. Just getting some fresh air, boss. It's been ages since I had a beer. Needed a moment. Victor Lee acts like it is just another Tuesday. Congratulations on making corporal, he says coolly, but do not let it go to your head. You need to keep your standards high. With that final warning, he spins on his heel and marches off. It is obvious Victor Lee is keeping a close watch on Marcus Jin. But to Marcus, the guy is the absolute definition of a model soldier. Regardless of how you slice it, by first light, the results from the 2nd Squad's promotion exam land on the 4th Battalion commander's desk. The commander stares at the report, completely unable to process what he is seeing. When I heard only one recruit passed, I was ready to discipline the whole lot, he mutters, but I never expected anyone to pull off a perfect score. Exactly, sir, the deputy agrees. And get this, during the monster suppression test, this recruit, Marcus Jin, set a record. 4 seconds flat. During that disaster at the oil depot, Marcus Jin was the first one to jump into action too. The pieces suddenly clicked together for the battalion commander. A fresh recruit climbing to corporal in less than a month? The whole promotion was completely irregular. At this speed, it is only a matter of time before his name is everywhere. And when that happens, those people times are definitely going to set their sights on Marcus Jin. The deputy commander freezes. He knows exactly who the commander is referring to when he mentions those people. Within the enlisted ranks, there are special personnel soldiers with abilities that are nothing short of monstrous. Each one wields extraordinary power, forging legends within the regiment. They are known as the elite monster units. If the commander is right, a brand new monster is about to be born right here in the regiment. Meanwhile, Marcus Jin stands surrounded by a nightmare horde, lizard men, tree monsters, and goblins closing in. But he is not scared. Instead, he looks absolutely thrilled.